This is big breaking emergency news. We are now seeing riots break out nationwide right now. This is happening across the country in multiple different states. We are seeing coordinated riots and coordinated agitations and events, and we are now seeing the police being deployed in riot gear in multiple different states to deal with these urgent situations that are happening. Right, we're seeing major takeovers of things like universities, colleges are being shut down right now. There is mass rioting going on, and people are battling the police. Right, so this is big, and this could be the precursor to what we see this summer. We could see major events and major attacks this summer, and it seems like it's already starting. It's already bubbling up. So let's get into the details here really quick. Please hit that like for me, hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos a day, keeping you guys updated on this urgent news, and it helps to get these warnings out. All right, so you can see here this picture in the back. This is Manhattan, New York. Police have been deployed in riot gear, and they're dealing with these major situations that are happening, and we are seeing this happen in multiple states and cities around the country. Right, you can see here it's chaos. There are mass gatherings of people all throughout the country right now, and especially in New York City, for these quote pro-Palestine protests. Okay, they're shutting down roads, they're shutting down colleges, they're shutting down airports. All these things are happening right now, and it's devolving into riots and chaos as well, and police are being deployed in riot gear around the country. Right, so this is a takeover. This is a hostile takeover. Right, this is not how you get sympathy for this cause. This is a takeover. These people are aggressive, they're mad, and they are waving foreign flags in our country. Look at this flag. This is all, these riots are for foreign countries. Right, people are saying terrible things about America at some of these riots and some of these events that are going on across the country right now, waving foreign flags and trashing America and causing chaos. Right, so this is what's happening. You can see here New York. All right, this is New York University right now. There's a major outbreak. It seems like these universities are really having chaos ensue. Okay, you can see here another place. This is in California. All right, this is in Arcata, California, and this is at California State University. And you can see here, you can see the police outside. They're in riot gear. They have the riot shields, and people are barricading inside of these buildings and destroying the buildings and causing chaos, all for this, apparently, this pro-Palestine movement. Okay, that's apparently what they're doing. But this is dangerous, because this shows that these groups can be activated at a moment's notice, and we're going to start seeing this stuff inside the cities as well, shutting down highways, airports, all this stuff. This happened just last week, I reported on. All right, and check this out. This is what the mayor of New York City is saying. Mayor Adams says outside agitators may be stirring things up. All right, so there's potentially people even coming in from out of state and that are funded, everything, that are causing these riots and causing this chaos inside of our country. All right, and you can bet if they're out of state, if they're not from the city, well, there's people there that are not from our country as well, that are from foreign hostile countries, that can be agitators as well, and that are stirring these things up and getting these people riled up. All right, they're destroying colleges right now, destroying buildings, shutting things down, causing riots, fighting with police, right? This is chaos. This is another screenshot of what's going on in New York right now, right? Police battling people, fighting with people, having to make mass arrests. You can see here it says, the clash came days after police arrested more than 100 demonstrators at Columbia University, right? And it says the NYPD also arrested 120 people on Monday, and 4 of them face criminal charges, right? So 120 people arrested last night when these riots were taking place. Police also said protesters threw objects, including bottles, at officers during the arrests, right? This is chaos. And these groups can be activated and agitated. We've seen these groups before. We saw similar things happen before where people came from out of state. This happened in 2020 during the summer, right? There were buildings burned down, entire towns burned down. There was looting, chaos, all this stuff. And I'm worried that we might be seeing the same playbook being implemented right now, just with a different twist. Now it's just this thing, okay? And it seems like this is where it's starting. They're trying to get agitators in there at these colleges. People that don't even go to the college are shutting down these colleges. They're saying that, check this out, Columbia University president orders virtual classes as anti-Israel protests take over. Quote, we need a reset. All right, and I don't like any war. I don't want a big war. I don't want what's going on in the Middle East. I don't want a war over there or anything. All right, but I don't want America being shut down and having riots and chaos in America as well. And it seems like there are outside agitators doing this stuff and taking advantage of these, quote, protests, right? And you can see here, this is happening at Yale as well. It says police storm Yale University's campus with riot gear. 47 arrested as hundreds stage anti-Israel protests, right? You can see here they're setting up these encampments, these tents, and they're having riot gear at Yale as well. This is nationwide. These are popping off. This is a coordinated event. This is being paid for. There's these professional agitators, protesters, whatever you want to call them. There's professional protesters that do this stuff. They travel around the country and they get paid by these nonprofit organizations, by these foreign groups, by foreign billionaires, Soros groups, Gates groups, all these WEF groups, UN groups, all these different groups potentially are funding these agitators and these protesters to rile up people and get them going. And the New York mayor's even saying that. He's saying that potentially there's people that are coming from out of state that are agitating and creating chaos. You can see here it says, quote, we strongly believe that is the case right now, that there are people who are here, they latch onto any protest to see our police officers having bottles thrown at them, chairs, and the number of bottles that were thrown, chairs thrown at them. People who peacefully protest an issue, they were not throwing bottles and chairs, right? So it's true. It's not a protest anymore once you're rioting, once you're fighting the police, once you're throwing all this stuff. It's crazy, right? A lot of places, it's insane. You have to get 10 permits just to have a peaceful protest, to walk down the street for something, all right? But then there's nothing. They just shut it all down. Shut it down, chaos, and fighting police, hurting police, throwing things, right? And this is just the start. I'm worried that we're going to see potentially another summer of chaos, right? So he also said, quote, Adam said some people have come to, quote, aggravate the situation and, quote, to use this to cause violence in our city, and we're going to seek them out and we're going to identify them. And he also went on to say, check this out. He said, quote, Why is everybody's tent the same? Well, it's true. Where did these tents come from? This is a coordinated event. This is an attack. These attacks are happening every day on our country. And our country's wide open. Our country's wide open. It's hard to protect ourselves when we're this vulnerable. He also said, quote, was there a fire sale on those tents? He said, there's some organizing going on. There's a well-concerted organizing effort. And what's the goal of that organizing? That's what we need to be asking ourselves, Adam said. Quote, we can't have outside agitators come in and be disruptive to our city. Someone wanted something to happen at that protest at NYU, and police officers didn't respond to it. All right, so you heard that there. He's saying something's going on. And this is true. This is what they do. These groups are funded, paid protesters and agitators to fly all across the country and show up at these events and get people worked up, get people crazy. They don't even go to the school. They don't even live in New York, anything. This happened in 2020, and we're seeing the same playbook happening again, all right? And they're making these massive encampments and setting up these tent cities all over the place, right? This is crazy. This is crazy that this is going on. They're barricading themselves in the buildings, destroying the buildings, and police are responding with riot gear trying to get in. This is anarchy in the United States, and this is not what we signed up for. All right, look at this. This is the streets of New York. This is going on in New York City right now. They're shutting stuff down. They're waving foreign flags. What if this isn't an invasion? What is? What is, all right? If this isn't some form of invasion, some kind of occupation of the United States of America, then what is this, all right? And they're even talking about potentially, they're saying, hey, this is so bad. Now we're going to have to nationalize, or we're going to have to mobilize the National Guard and deploy them to these colleges and all these areas to protect people. And they're saying that they're worried that Jewish students are going to be targeted. All this stuff's crazy. This is insane. All right? So please hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, guys. It helps to get this warning out. People need to know, and people need to be on high alert, red alert. This is what I've been warning of. A lot of people have been warning of this for a while now, is that everything's wide open. Our country is being infiltrated by foreign groups, bad actors, and they're gonna position themselves inside of major cities, and they already are, and they get free resources, free food, hotels, everything, communication. And when the call gets made, they're going to be activated to cause chaos in the cities, to overwhelm our law enforcement, and to create these societal breakdown situations inside of our city where it's hitting the fan. It's hitting the fan. And it seems like the plan is being activated, right? So make sure you guys are getting prepared, getting stocked up, and getting ready. And these infiltrations are happening. Even the mayor's already saying this. I'm pretty surprised that he's actually come out this early and said this, but it's true. This was the plan in 2020. They do this. They co-opt any type of movement. It gets co-opted by these shady groups, these black op groups, right? These groups that are in the background. They co-opt them. They infiltrate. They get inside, they get intel, they start organizing things, and then they start agitating as well, because they want people to cause an escalation, right? So please stay safe, stay on high alert, stay ready, and try to avoid major gatherings like this, right? They're shutting down entire colleges now and telling people that they're going to be on virtual learning for the rest of the year. This is crazy. This is like a lockdown. This is like a shutdown, right? We're seeing the same playbook. We're gonna shut down schools because of rioting, right? This is escalating. And just last week, we saw airports shut down. We saw the Golden Gate Bridge shut down. We saw the Brooklyn Bridge shut down. And it was for this same exact protest, whatever they're calling this, the same exact thing, the same cause, right? So make sure you guys are just getting out of these cities as much as possible, getting prepared, getting ready, getting stocked up, because we could see shutdowns of communications. We could see critical infrastructure attacked, right? We could see these groups, this rage harnessed to start attacking infrastructure, right? Some of the things that the people are saying at these rallies about the United States are insane. How are they? If anyone else said this, people would be like, what's going on? People would be showing up, freaking out, right? The government would not appreciate it. But then for some reason, these groups and these certain agitators are allowed to say the most obscure and insane things about our country and just nasty things about the United States as well. And they're allowed to get away with it and get a platform. And a lot of these colleges even have been facilitating this. And I saw one video where there were pallets of bricks outside of this encampment. What is that about? There was like 10 pallets of bricks just sitting there outside of the tents and everything, right? People are setting up these like tent cities everywhere. And if you remember, the same thing happened in 2020. There were just piles of bricks on pallets that would start showing up in random places where these riots and protests and stuff were going on, and then people would just grab them and start throwing them at stuff, right? So they're setting up these autonomous zones. They're bringing everything back from 2020. You remember there were these autonomous zones set up where they're saying, oh, the police aren't allowed in here, and we have our own rules and our own law, and this isn't part of America now. This is our own little country inside of America, this occupied zone. All right, they're saying all this crazy stuff, and they're bringing it back. They're setting up autonomous zones, trying to prevent the police from coming in, and it's a replay, all right? So be on high alert. Please hit it up for me down there to help get this warning out, guys. People need to know. I appreciate that. I hope you guys have big blessings for your life, your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.